Hey, everybody, it's Keepin It 100. Thursday night, 9 p.m. How y'all doing tonight?
Good. How you doing?
All right.
We got Jabari and Angelica back in the building.
Yes. Hey, how you doing?
And ain't it amazing that we're talking about relationships tonight?
Ooh, special. I'm ready.
Huh?
I said I'm ready.
Okay, it's a controversial one, you know. It ain't about doves and roses this time, so. But before we get started, y'all got anything going on?
No, we're moving. We're in transition of moving, but that's about it.
Woo woo.
Right.
Yeah. I'm ready.
My baby's not ready to go.
No, they're not.
He's not gonna be. Neither one. Mari be like, peace out.
Yes. He's ready, but you know, Jaja, he just asked, how many days? How many days do we have? I'm like, no, listen.
Tell him I still get every other weekend, so we good.
Right.
We good. But I am about to hit up Houston, Texas, for my birthday trip.
Yeah.
Cannot wait. It's gonna be some foolishness going on, but you know.
Well, just make it back now. You gotta,
Yeah, I'm gonna make it back.
That's all.
I don't know when we'll leave there, but I'm gonna make it back. But other than that, and I don't have anything. I mean, I got a couple trips going. I got 2 more trips for the rest of the year after this one. So I'm gonna wind it down for the new year. I'm gonna take my time and bring the new year in with the family and at home quietly,
Okay.
so I can turn up after the new year come in. But other than that, you guys don't have anything other than moving? You don't have anything going on?
Nah, that's where our focus is right now, on the next move.
Okay, well, congratulations on the new place.
Thank you.
I know y'all
Appreciate
ready. I know
Yes,
y'all
we
ready.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But you know, more room means more stuff. So
Yeah.
go ahead and tell you. But anyway, we're gonna pretty much talk about. So do some hot topics real quick before we get into our conversation. The whole Sexy Red.
Lord.
Did y'all hear about that? I know y'all did.
I seen it.
You did.
Yeah, I sure did. It was sad.
It was sad.
Nah.
So it was sad. You gotta elaborate on that.
No.
I'm like,
yes, I did watch
tell
it.
everybody what
and,
she did.
She didn't do anything. You know, the thing is that's in an uproar. Everybody's talking about because he spit on it or whatever. And
Tell everybody what happened.
well, she got a sex tape leaked, and on her story, she said she didn't do it.
It was her story?
Yes, she tweeted and said she would never do that. Her heart is broken. The main thing everyone's talking about is, about her being dry. But if anybody knows, or if a woman knows, if you're dry, it's because you probably don't, want the man. Like, you're not interested in it. Like,
Or it's a hormonal thing. I mean,
if it comes down.
But she's
to
young,
that.
so
Yes, if it comes down to it. But
She ain't that young. She a
and she
grown
was
woman.
fake. It was fake. Everything like hormones wasn't genuine or anything. Like it was just
so. And I think now
I feel like it was a
it's
trick.
a law against that now.
what?
If you
Yeah.
hack somebody's account and you
yeah.
post something like
Yeah.
that's personal.
Yeah.
Um,
So, but it's everywhere now. I mean, everybody has screen recorded it, and it's been nonstop on Twitter, back to back to back. The actual video. So.
Wow.
Yeah, poor thing. She said she's heartbroken. What you?
I mean, I would be too. So
Yeah, too.
I mean, especially if it was with somebody that you know.
Well, but this is not her first. I mean, somebody else just put a video of her out like a couple weeks ago. Her sleeping in his bed, and it was a recent video because her hair was the same as like a picture she had posted like a couple days before that. So it's like I hope it's the same guy, but then it's like why would you even talk to the same
Man,
guy?
who knows?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's the same guy from that video also.
But why would
I
you
mean,
even talk to him if?
We hope so. We hope so.
Yeah.
That's all we can say.
Why would you talk to him again after he done put you all on the internet? I guess
Yeah.
it didn't matter. That was her,
Yeah.
That was weird in itself.
Yeah.
Dudes don't even really move like that usually, but I mean, hey, I guess he's seen the opportunity.
But you know what? And like I tell my daughter, my daughter's 14. You can't trust anybody with anything that personal of you.
Yeah, no.
Not even you talking about, pics in your, underwear or your bathing suit or whatever somebody may use against you. Because that same guy, and tell me if I'm wrong, that same guy that you so in love with, well, sorry, you wouldn't know because you've been with the same person since middle school.
Right.
But the same guy you was in love with in high school, in your freshman year, y'all can't stay to each other in your senior year. You know, can't stay to each other. You know, can't be in the same room. So you never know who you sharing your stuff with. So yeah, first of all, why you got on your phone? That's number one.
Yeah,
like normal people and put it on VHS tape.
That's throwback right there. Look.
That's way outdated.
You can't do nothing with that.
Can't do nothing.
You gotta play it on the TV and record it with your phone.
Yeah.
You
I hope you find a
you
VCR.
don't even have a VCR.
So I hope you find a VCR these days.
You can't even find a VCR, so you safe. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
They don't even make TVs where you could hook it up anymore. You need an adapter at this point.
Yep, exactly. Everything has changed.
You got to put more energy into that. Just, hey.
Definitely.
Teach his own.
But let's get into this relationship stuff. Jabari, what was the first one?
Cheating.
Cheating.
It was a little more descriptive. But
go ahead.
Hold on. It said ego, selfishness, or emotionally complicated.
Is it ego? Is it selfishness? Or is it emotionally complicated? What y'all think?
I think it's a decision.
I
think it's just
that part.
We're not gonna act like it's a disorder. Well, I'm not. I'm not gonna act like cheating is a disorder. I will be honest and say that if you cheat, it's because you want to.
It's an absolute decision.
It's a choice.
It's a very big choice. But now I will say
it can be those things. Though,
it most definitely can deal with ego.
Yes.
I think now as far as men, and
I know where you're going with that. I already knew where you was going with that.
But I mean, you want to elaborate on that as far as
men? As a man, the ego thing is like when you're younger or a young adult, I should say, you try to go back to your wonder years in high school, see if you still got it, quote unquote, stuff like that. But
there ain't no young adult. You got old men doing that.
Nah, but I mean, then you come. I mean, I don't know about women. I can't speak for women. I just know, being a man. But then you come to, where we are now. It's like you get married and then you just focus on your family and stuff like that eventually. But everybody that's my age is not on that type of timing because they didn't enjoy their high school years. So now as they're adults and they can do what they want to do and they're not sheltered at their parents' home or whatever, now they want to go out and see how many girls they could get in their late 20s.
Wilding out.
Which is all right if you don't have a significant other, but
or they never had the example
They never had anybody in their home to show them, okay, this is what you do. You know what I mean? A lot of people grew up with single moms, so they didn't know the way when it came to being a man, so a lot of guys come up like that too.
That goes back to I guess to the saying it takes a village, because my mom was never would have got to this day she had guy friends for years at a time, but she was never married or with a guy like that. But I've seen multiple marriages and families. You and my brother, grandma and granddaddy. My sister. My sister was married. I seen how it's supposed to go in different ways.
Right.
In different ways.
Yeah, I could pick and choose off of everybody, take a little piece. Even my mama. Even though she doesn't, but I could pick and choose from everybody and figure out how I think it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it because growing up, parenting is about that, because as a kid, everything that you're going to do as you grow up is what you've seen. So it's you're not going to do what your parents told you to do. You're going to do what you saw your parents do, which is a big thing of us.
Or you're going to do the opposite. Or
right.
Or you're going to do anything. Or, you're going to do what you don't. If you didn't like it, you're going to
try to do the opposite of what you've seen. Regardless, you're seeing what your parents did and you're making a decision of which route you want to go from there. It's like, okay, I seen this. I don't want to do this to my kids. Or I seen this. I don't want to live like this. But like she said, a village is growing up with a village and taking the village is a big part of it, because some people don't have that village. So it's like, what do they do then? You're going to make a lot of drastic decisions, I say, you know what I mean? Because you don't know, you pretty much learning as you go. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And some people don't have a significant other that is willing to go through it. And that's a big part of relationships these days too. People don't want to stick around because when it gets to the good and the bad and the ugly, they ain't ready for the ugly and the bad. They just want everything to be good.
And most of them don't be ready for the breakup either. So then it's really like, what do you really want to do? Like, they don't be ready for that, but then they break up, and then it's like, oh my God, I'm about to die.
But then you miss them, right?
Right.
But you're not willing to stick through everything. You know what I mean? Sense. The highs, the lows. I always compare it to a roller coaster. That's how relationships go. That's how life really goes. You're going to have your low points. You're going to have your high points. It's who's willing to stick with you through your low points that matters.
You know, I saw a meme that said, you know, you can't get mad at the other person for not loving you the way you love them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I come with certain standards. And so I love wholeheartedly. I'm going to give you my 100%. But then I get mad because you don't reciprocate the way that I did, you know, the way that I gave it to you. But then that person didn't grow up the way I did. They didn't, you know, they didn't experience the things that I experienced when it came to relationships. So you really have to, and that's where they go back to being unequally yoked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a big thing, being equally yoked. I've been seeing people use that terminology a lot lately, but it's bigger than that, because me and her aren't the same person. We complement each other in a good way because of that, though. You know what I mean? And love is the highest level of understanding. I don't remember who I heard say that, but it's the truth. Yeah, that's what love really is. It's like to understand somebody. You know what I mean? Finish each other's sentences, stuff like that. And, you know what I mean? Like, that's the highest level of understanding. You know what I mean? That's spiritual connection, right?
And I think that when you have if you base your marriage off of the physical and the monetary, I don't think you're gonna last that long.
That going to what we was talking about before we got here about the best friends and how is your partner not your best friend?
Yeah.
Oh, right. How people say like, I have he's my best friend. That's my best guy friend. Like, how did you like bypass over your husband being?
Yeah, how is it only physical or monetary with your significant other? We were trying to like figure that out. Like,
life has so many highs and lows. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And anybody asking why I'm dabbing my eyes, I scratched my eye with an eyelash, so it's irritating right now. But anyway, when you have these very highs and, you know, very big highs and very big lows, and people don't know how to accept the bad with the good. Right. You know, I need somebody who's going to be there. If I got to sleep on the street, you know, like, I'm going to sleep with you. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm going to figure out how neither one of us have to sleep on the street. You know, I need you to be there for the worst times of my life when I can't go on, you dragging me with you. You know? But a lot of people don't want to put that time and grade in. A lot of these marriages last, the honeymoon period, the first 5-10 years. Yeah. And then they're, you know, but Hollywood, they marry and divorce like that. And it's normal. It's normal for them. And I just never, my mom and dad been married 51 years. They celebrate their 50th anniversary last year. We gave them a wedding on the ship. You know, we went on a cruise, and we had their second, you know, another wedding for them. 51 years they've been together. I'm sorry, they've been married. They've been together longer than that. Right. You know, and I'm like, 51 years?
Yeah. It's a long time.
That's a long time. You know, and I think that it came with sacrifice, understanding, forgiveness, love. You know, you got to have all of those things if you're going to make it to 51, period. You know. And
strength.
A lot of strength.
Inner strength. Yeah. Very much so.
Yes.
But I see a lot of guys, and that's the one thing I say, a lot of guys want to approach you now with their physical, like how they look and what they have. And I'm like, what makes you think? And a lot of girls do. They jump for that jag, you know what I'm saying? Or they jump for that, you know, the six pack, the body or whatever. It might be good to look at, but what does it come with? If it comes with a whole lot of late nights crying and being upset and wondering if you cheating and where you going, I don't need it. You know? So what do you think when it comes to what can a man do? I'm going to ask both of you. What can a man do, is your opinion, when you have a man who is thinking about going down that road who has a significant other or a wife, what advice do you give him that can kind of steer him away from what he's about to do? What can he think about? What can he talk about?
Him and her.
Him and y'all.
Women do
Yeah, because
cheat
you have to say the woman perspective. I mean, it probably more so be the same thing. Though. I mean, before you make that decision, regardless, I mean, you gotta, I guess, discuss where you feel like things are going wrong with your partner. You know what I mean? Like, there's really no point because you know you're gonna ruin it.
Yeah.
When things come to light, you know what I mean. So it's like there's no point of you even making that decision because you know what it come with. It's like whatever is making you feel that way, it's way more easier on you to just talk to them about it. You know what I mean? And if y'all got that type of relationship where you could talk, where you should, I mean, it should be some type of progress. If not, then I mean, probably not meant to be with each other. I mean, I don't know. From a female perspective, I don't know.
What about you? Female perspective.
I just feel like if you're gonna cheat, first and foremost, people cheat. Let's just put it out there. People cheat, and it don't matter. It don't have to be sex. It don't have to be like, you know, it could just be like simple conversation, but you are like, you know, flirting and maybe every day, or you could be at work or something like that. It don't always have to be sex, but people do it. And I feel like when people do it, it's probably because they're not really like 100% happy in the situation. And it doesn't matter how it is, but it's, or like you said, it could be an ego thing, or what else did you name? What else did she name it? It could be any
emotionally. I guess pretty much what we already talking about. What you saying? Like you're not 100% there. Like I'm emotionally unattached.
Yeah,
and I think that when you have a person who flirts with the idea of cheating, not necessarily they might not be not in love with the person that they're with.
Yeah.
Like you said, they're not happy.
Yeah.
You know, but then a quick solution to that is those hard conversations, which come later in the conversation tonight. That hard conversation of telling your partner how you're feeling.
All right.
But a lot of them don't want to come clean with that information because they don't know how it's going to go left or right. You know, but
a lot of people don't do the communication thing right anyways. Like it doesn't go right.
No, it doesn't.
It never goes. Well, I'm going to say it never goes right because it does. But it once she starts crying and he starts like throwing stuff under the rug, trying to like hide his emotions because most men don't want to break down and tell you how they really feel, and she's upset because, you know, it's just a mess. People need to learn how to just sit back and relax and really have a conversation. You say what you're gonna say, let me say what I'm gonna say, and we're gonna figure it out from there. Because all the emotions, what you gonna have, but you can't be all emotional. And it's kind of like if something's happening and you have to call 911 and they keep telling you calm down. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't think. You can't when there's a whole bunch of going on. You can't really think and relax. Like you have to relax and think and have the conversation. Even if me and him argue about nothing, because we don't be arguing about nothing. But if we did,
I was about to say,
I'm gonna be honest, y'all get on my nerves.
Yeah,
but
if we did, and it happened to be like loud, well, I'm with me probably because he don't be yelling. But if I just so happen to start screaming and yelling, it has to be a balance. He's not. If I'm screaming and yelling to my lungs, he's not yelling. He's like, you know, he's just sitting there quiet because he already knows if I'm yelling, she's yelling. It's like adding fuel to the fire. I'm working on that. So he doesn't yell. So I'm never really like in that like position. Like he doesn't raise his voice.
Like she says, I get quiet or
yeah.
I just try to hit her with something logical, and then at the moment she's still screaming like, "Nah, it don't make no sense." So,
and it be about nothing.
Like something small, like real. But that's how relationships go. You're gonna have little, you know. I just call them like heated debates at points. I mean, everything doesn't have to be an argument. Like,
no,
you know what I mean? That's the main thing. You don't have to, and don't carry it over to what, you know, throughout the day. Like that's one thing about us. We're gonna do what we're gonna do, and in 2 minutes we're gonna act like
we don't let it.
We're not gonna let anything carry over. That's the main thing.
Exactly. And I think now, if anybody that's listening, I've got a couple people on live. You guys not getting you have any opinion or advice? And we talked about cheating and how to steer away from that initial thought or bring yourself back. 919-899-9305 919-899-9305. Static again. But yeah, I think that. So like with your brother, we each one of us had our strengths. Okay, his strength was budgeting, but my strength was making ends meet when they didn't.
Yeah,
he wanted everything to go according to his plan. Where I'm a kind of person where I think on my feet when it don't go the way it's supposed to. I think of how can we do this and get it done and make it, make it.
What
to the
most
next.
females.
Exactly.
I was just
I
about
don't know,
to say
because,
that's how it goes.
Some females try to leave that to the male, and that's why a lot of stuff be messed up because men they don't really think like that.
No,
not like us. Like
They
we more so thinking more analytical, more logical. Y'all more fluid.
Exactly.
So y'all thinking that what if this happens, or we're not thinking that. We just thinking from point A to point B. A lot of the time, it's like okay, if I do this, it's gonna do this, but women usually think, okay, well, you got to account for the rainy days, stuff like that.
Exactly.
But yeah, I could say men usually don't, think about or.
So, like for example, with me and James, so what would happen is, we'd pay bills, okay, and if I missed a couple days of work or he was out, just say your check is short for whatever reason, okay, and you don't have enough to cover 2 or 3 bills, he is. Why this happened? He needs to know when, where, why, how, all we got to this point.
That's me.
You know what I'm saying? And with me,
I'm not understanding. I'm trying to figure it out.
And with me, I'm like, okay, well, we're here, so there's no need to go back and figure out right now how we got here.
No, we gotta figure
We
it
Oh
out.
nah, in their blood, they saying, "Listen, I need the facts."
You know why? Listen, the reason why
I told you, Jabbar, we married to this
tell you.
family.
The reason why is because if we don't figure out what happened, it's going to continue to happen.
But that's the thing. I didn't say we don't need to go back and figure out how it happened.
Everything.
At the moment, we got to get the bills paid.
She's
so
saying, "Don't dwell on it. We got to figure out what's going on from this
While
point
we doing that,
forward."
I need you to explain in the car. In the car on the way, I need you to tell me what happened, so we can never do it again.
And this is the thing. I was like, I tell him, okay, look, check this out. And while he's arguing, he's in the kitchen, he's pacing back and forth, he's doing all this stuff because he's upset.
And it's already figured out.
I'm in the, I'm in the living room on the phone, and I call the, electric company, like, hey, I'm not gonna pay it today. I'll, give me 2 weeks, and I'll pay it, in 2 weeks. And and I let him just keep pacing back and forth, back and forth. Once I'm tired of him pacing back and forth, then I let him know, okay, you know what? It's handled. Mm-hmm. It's handled. Well, what did you do? Now he needs to know what did I do to fix it.
Because he need to know what's going on in 2 weeks from now. When the date comes, what do we have to pay when? Because I don't need this happening again. See?
But see, and the reason why it used to frustrate me because he was a stickler for if we're only going to spend this, it's all we need to spend. Everything else goes over here. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to him wanting something, and what he want is on sale, or he found a good deal on it,
man.
Even if I gotta spend a little bit more money to get the deal,
yeah. Then it's like, I said, did you just go buy? This is back when Stacey Adams first came out. They were expensive back in the day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did you just go buy some brand new Stacey Adams? It's like, man, these shoes they usually like $100. I got them for like $60. Really? Really?
That's me.
That's the deal? Mm-hmm. But then if I say, hey, look, I don't feel like cooking. Let's go out to dinner tonight. We got plenty of food in the house. We usually make some dinner. Maybe it's just the Williams Banks kind of thing because that's what I went through. We can go
somewhere with the deal.
See?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. That's one thing about Both of us, because we gonna get a deal.
You know, they got the 2 for this and 2 for that and 3 for this. We
like
to eat out, but we do. I am that person. Like I do.
Yeah.
But that makes our relationship. That's how we save money. Like if not, he would blow it.
I ain't gonna lie.
So yes, if I wasn't there to do like just like what you, because I'm the same way. Everything you just said he did, I do the exact same thing. Like, besides the eating part, we go eat. But like I said, even when we do. But even when we do that, even when we do that, we still try like coupons and finding a deal.
Yeah, we gotta make it make sense with the 2 boys we gotta go around everywhere with. Yeah.
So gotta make it make sense. That's another thing. And this is kind of just slightly off topic. When you're in a relationship when you're dating somebody in the beginning, a lot of women don't like when a man finds a deal like that to go out to a nice place.
I'm so glad me and her didn't have to go through that route. Like we didn't know each other so long, because that weird little dating trying to figure out people's stage, I can't even imagine it.
It's ridiculous, because I'm like, I'm not an expensive person. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want a man to use that to be cheap with me. You know, I don't have to go to Sullivan's or you know what's the other one? Yeah, but I don't have to go to those places. You know what I'm saying? I've been.
Yeah, but I don't want.
But I can take. Yeah, I can take.
That is crazy.
Like you know,
that's
those
nasty.
That's their signature dishes and stuff. I don't want none of that.
But the thing is, I'm like, I don't need that stuff.
Right.
Me personally, I'm in for the conversation and getting to know you and getting that vibe.
You can cook.
Exactly. If you want to cook at the house.
Right.
I mean, in the beginning stage, you're not going to cook for somebody because you ain't going to let them come to your house, I hope.
Nope.
But
that's number one. That's number one.
Like you said, it doesn't have to be something, like you could go to like, I guess like, you know, like a Conky or, you know what I'm saying? That ain't even too expensive.
Or even if like, for instance, like if we just met and I know I love the Dankery. Like I know I love it. I know they got good food, which is like a little late night spot, but I just like it. I love that. And I want to take you there. What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Like she said though, some people will frown upon stuff like that
though.
Yeah,
they would because
especially women.
It's not expensive. You know, me personally, it's during the day and it's nothing. You know, it's like a Saturday afternoon. I don't really want to go and eat a steak somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Everybody not trying to dine like that.
You know, you take me to Conky or we can go to Hibachi, which is one of my favorite like eatery spots. Still, little place on Wake Forest. I go over there, and eat. I just want to have fun and get to know you. We can stop over. What's the hot dog place everybody like? Used to be Char Grill, but it's the other one, the little hot dog spot. Can't think of the name of it, but I'm just not a materialistic person. But at the same time, I'm not gonna allow you to use that to your advantage.
Right.
Whereas with me, well, she don't care, so I'm gonna take her over here. And then with somebody else, you get to put the front on because they are materialistic and you want to impress them.
Right.
But anyway, I digress. So again, with cheating, I think it's a little bit of both. It's the ego, to me. I think, as far as a woman, I'm gonna speak on the man. I'm talking on the woman. When it comes to women, it's more or less if she looks a certain way, if her body's built a certain way, and she knows that men are attracted to her. It's like. I just can't even. I can't even think that way because what woman wants to have that many bodies? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to figure out the ego talk. Like, how's the ego?
Really, but you know what? When I can like say like I feel like when a woman cheats, it's because she likes the person. Mm-hmm. Like she more than likely she likes that person. I'm not gonna say like love or whatever, but she likes that person. And when a guy cheats, it's just kind of like. Oh, I'm just going. I can do because I can do it. I'm gonna do it.
And I'll say it like this: women cheat because they need something. Men cheat because they want something. Yeah. And that's just me. If I'm gonna go out, it's because I'm not getting something, and I need that because of the person. I'm a very touchy-feely, emotional, lovey-dovey kind of person. If I'm not getting that, I'm gonna crave that.
Right.
And if a guy naturally is that way, it can start as a friendship. But if I'm not careful, I'm going to start craving that. And that craving will turn into that emotional What was it?
Oh, hold on. It just say emotionally complicated. I use the term.
Emotionally complicated.
Yeah.
Because I'm not in love with this person, but this person is giving me what I need at the moment. Mm-hmm. So you got to be careful.
Yeah.
Not saying you can't have male friends. I have a plethora of male friends, but they're just friends.
Yeah.
You know, and I know how to keep that separation. You know, if I do something, it's gonna be deliberately, not accidentally,
right,
on purpose. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, so Jabari, what was the second one? We had the,
can you be in love with two people at the same time?
Okay, can we?
No.
You can't. You don't think so?
Nah. That doesn't even make sense.
So most people don't even be in love; they just be loving.
Which
you no, some people love people, like, you know, and you can love 1,000 people. So you have to be real, like, you know, because half of the people in relationships really don't even really be in love. They love that person a lot. Like,
I think you can love two people at the same time.
Definitely.
I don't think you can be in love with two people at the same time. And it's different to me. In love and loving you is two different things.
Yes, the percentage of how many people are really in love, though,
is very small.
Slim, because
it's very small.
Like you said, you love is just very general and broad, because you can love your friend. You know what I'm saying? You can love your homie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's different types of love. It's different levels of it. You know what I'm saying? But like, to be in love is the next level. It's like you can't see yourself without that person.
Yeah.
You can't have that type of dynamic with two people.
No.
It doesn't make sense.
Which is why I never understood the whole, the guy that had the three wives or whatever.
I mean, that's a common thing, I guess, you know, in different countries, but they call it the westernized way over here. I mean, that's how we came up, so that's what we used to. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It's like, and even over there, I don't believe that they're in love with all the women that they're in a relationship with. They got we talk about it all the time. They got one that they really in love with, and the other ones benefit them, and they're financially, you know, whatever the case may be, their assets or whatever it is. Like,
when I see pictures of like poly relationships and sister wives and all that, I always look at everyone's faces, and you can tell
the ones that,
the ones that's just like, oh my god, and the ones that's like, yeah, he loves me, like I'm the one, like, you know, and it might be one or two that's like that, and it might be one or two that's, you know, and it's like, why are you? What is it? Just because, you know, you have a spot. You know, and the spot means like a position. I'm not gonna say a spot. You have a position to play.
And to me, the women, and I love him. I love D. Ray Davis. He's, you know, a great actor. He's a great comedian. But, you know, he has 2 girlfriends, and he talks about how, you know, he loves both of his girlfriends, whatever. And I'm like, how do you say that you in love with me? And I got to share a whole home, you know, with you. And I'm like, so there's got to be it's always going to be a preference. I don't care how many wives you have. If you have it more than one or more than one girlfriend, there's always going to be a preference. So
because it's bigger than the physical. That's the main reason why you would have a preference. It's like, you're not going to have that same connection with everybody, because you don't even have the energy for that. Exactly. You're gonna, you know what I mean? It's like that. Our brains aren't even really wired for that, to be honest. And it's biblical. We don't even got to get into all that, but we all know that.
Yeah.
So it's like, come on now.
And I think a lot of people justify it when they say, "Well, I'm in love with 2 people." No, you can be in love with one person, and I think you might have love for another person that you probably emotionally attached to, that you don't want to get rid of, because it benefits you for them to be around, but you're not in love with 2 people. I don't think that's, to me, emotionally possible.
No, I don't think so.
Because when you're in love with somebody, you're giving them more than half of what you know, who you are. So how can you equally love 2 people?
Yeah, that's what reciprocation is.
Loving somebody can mess you up with who you're in love with, because you love, like, just like you love your kids and you will do anything for them. It's the same thing. Like, oh, I'm in love with you, but I love blah blah, and I'm just gonna do whatever because I love that person. You know, that can still mess you up either way. Go being loving, you're not. be in love with your person and don't be trying to love nobody else, because it is not gonna work like that.
No, it's never gonna work like that.
It's just not gonna work like that. Your feelings gonna be hurt, or somebody's feelings gonna be hurt, you know. And it's probably not gonna be the person that you're like in love with. It's gonna be you, because you too busy trying to figure out, or you don't know what you want to do. You know, you don't know, like, oh, I'm in love with him, and I think I love him, or I'm in love with him, and you don't know. You don't know. You gotta follow your heart. It's your heart.
Definitely gotta follow.
And like you said, go back to like the visual, like people be trying to fall in love with what they look like and different stuff. We didn't even see each other.
I was gonna get into that.
Yeah,
that's the major part of our relationship.
We met on the phone and didn't even see each other for like a while before we even seen each other.
Probably months, like literal months
before we see each other in person.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did y'all just talk on the phone, or?
Yeah, met by accident, really low key, on a 3-way call, and just I asked for her number on that call, hung up the phone with whoever we was on the phone with, and went from there. And then, like we said, we didn't see each other at school. We was at East Garnet at the time, but we didn't see each other at school for literally months. I was in the 8th grade, she was at 6th grade at the time, so we weren't gonna cross paths.
Yeah.
And then one day I seen her in the cafeteria. I'll never forget. That was the first time I seen her. In person.
And he was hooked ever since.
First time. That's all. And I was already hooked on the phone.
Exactly.
I mean, in reality.
But see, and you know what? That's a great point, Jabari. Why relationships back in the day lasted longer is because it was built on more than just physical.
Social media ruined
it. Social media ruined relationships.
And we had social media back in the day too, but we wasn't. I can remember being on social media for 5 minutes of the day and then gone by my business.
It was a different time. It was on a computer. It was only on the computer at that time.
And it was limited.
It wasn't at the palm of our hand.
Exactly.
So that was the difference. It's like we was on house phones, bro. It was a difference. It ain't like we was talking on iPhones back then. It was less distractions. It was just about me, trying to figure out the person I'm talking to. You know what I mean? Trying to learn each other.
That was a big thing. Our era did that a lot. Like, not just me. Like, what was it? The hotline. Mm-hmm. That was like a big thing. Just meeting people, just talking to people over the phone was like a thing for our age. Anyways, I don't know when it stopped or whatever, but that's just what we did. Even if it was just calling a hotline and just meeting somebody over the hotline and talking. Next thing you know, y'all talking for years because you done met over the phone.
Yeah,
which was dangerous too, but but not really in our age. Everything was pretty much genuine. Like now, everything is really, you
don't know people's motives or anything like that.
But back in the day, a lot of things we did was genuine, and like we didn't have to worry about nothing in our community. I mean, I don't know, we didn't have to worry about all that.
Well, I'll say this: as far as social media, when we met in school, I'm talking about. To me, you use your imagination a lot more. Because social media, like you said, ruined the relationships. Because when I'm on the phone with my boyfriend back in high school, you laying back with your feet up, on the wall, and you're talking, and you're daydreaming, and you're talking about
for hours,
and talking for hours on the phone because you got to know the person. And even back then, when you were talking to a girl on the phone, you knew within the first couple of hours, hour or two on the phone, whether you want to be talking to her or not. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, yeah.
So you was able to cut that off before it was any kind of emotional connect right there. Yeah. But now it's like Instagram sliding your DMs.
People be faking it and they're trying to put on a facade like there's somebody or not, even though eventually it's going to come to the light because it don't last long. That's not who you really are. Like you got to really be yourself. Like prime example, like I like anime. She don't know anything about anime, but she knows that I love it, so she'll give me a gift or plenty of gifts about anime gifts. It's like you got to know your partner.
Exactly.
It's like people to put up this fake thing. I like video games, probably never play video games in their life. You know what I'm saying? A lot of girls do that. Like her on the other hand, she really play video games.
Yeah, just
I mean, so it's like you gotta really know your partner. It's like, but you can't get to know them if you're putting up this facade like you're somebody that you're not, which is social media.
Social media makes you pretend to be. Your relationship is more than what it is.
You're comparing your relationships to other relationships,
to other people,
to celebrities that you never even know. That's crazy.
Social media has ruined everything. I can't believe it turned like that because
in the beginning, like you said, it was just time for MySpace. Let me create my page. We didn't even know that we was coding.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
When we were young, we didn't even know.
We
talk about that all the time. I don't even know if you know that.
Yeah.
We were coding on MySpace, creating our pages. Everybody that had a MySpace, that's what you were doing.
Yep.
You were taking things out, cutting it, copying and pasting things to make your page do what it do. You know what I mean? Which is a 6-figure job these days. Right. So it's like we didn't even know what we were doing, and it's like now look at us now. Nobody's even thinking about. You don't even have to do that now. All you gotta do is download the app, and that's it.
Now I will say, gone are the days where everybody called each other on the phone and met up, at the spot, at the club at a certain time and hung out.
I think about what would we do without, I remember the days, but I wasn't driving. But what would we do without GPS?
I think about that, but my mom had MapQuest.
We did too.
And
we
then,
had the maps. We did the printouts and all that.
And then we had maps.
Y'all are youngsters right now, so let me go ahead and school you.
We had the maps.
Okay, being stationed in Texas, all right, in Louisiana, we used a map.
Yeah,
we had maps. We had maps.
I remember we used one to get back and forth from Ohio and all that stuff.
Which is still
crazy. But I'm just saying, nowadays, what would we have?
These kids would be
I remember
lost.
when GPS first came out.
Me too.
Yeah. On that big bulky screen.
Yeah,
screen,
I remember too.
The big old screen that was you just stick on the dashboard.
Yeah.
I think that when I was younger, we pretty much you had clicks because everybody hung out together. You talked on the phone to your boyfriend. You went to the club. You met up, and your parents didn't have complete and total access to you at all times.
They didn't have any
access to you.
They gave you a time to leave and a time to be home.
Right, that was it.
And everything in between was up to you.
Right.
And if Jamia leaves right now and goes and says, I'm going, like she's at the Southeast game. Mm-hmm. If I look on my phone and her GP, it shows me that she's over in Durham, like she done left the school, go to Durham, but she's got to be back to Southeast before it's time to be picked up.
Which is a pro of having an iPhone or a phone in general.
It definitely left.
When it comes to children, you know where they're at.
When I say my parents gave me a curfew, and we got in any city in the area that we could get in that time frame before my curfew was up. And so, but like you said, social media ruined relationships. I'm so glad I was dating back in the day where you had to call somebody on the phone. Yeah. Because if a person called you, they really wanted to talk to you.
Yeah.
Now,
especially when you're younger, you got to ask to talk to the person every now and then. You don't want to go through that if you're not really into it. Right? Exactly. You know what I mean? As a kid, calling, can I speak to Angelica?
Not knowing if the parents going to be in a good mood or not.
Yeah, you never know what you expect. Then you had to call me after 7 when cell phones came. Well, it was 9 first when we did eventually get cell phones.
It was 9 for one, it was 7 for another.
And then it was whatever company it was. Sprint was 7 eventually.
Yep.
I remember them days. Call me after 7. I don't got minutes. These kids don't even understand. So I know we getting older because boy,
we had to buy minutes and, like you said, talk free. And then it eventually became free after and free on the weekend.
So do you guys? And I know social media now has its ups and it has its pros and cons because, like I said, I can see where my daughter is. If something happens to her, she doesn't have to find a payphone to call me. She doesn't have I don't have to go looking for her because I can know if she has her phone on her where she's going to be.
Right.
So, and I know it's like a catch-22. But do you think that people would be more genuine in their relationships now if social media wasn't as abundant as it is?
You wouldn't have a choice. Because it's just there's an example. Like you walking down the street and you see somebody and you talk to them. That's as genuine as it gets. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's like you didn't have a chance to scope them out, look at their page, see what they into, so you could fake act like you like that, or you know what I mean, like stuff like that.
Even if you have something to say and instead of you just saying it, you just go and make a post about it and hope the person sees.
Yeah, it's like you trying to reel somebody in. You know what I mean? It's like
you trying to use Facebook as the pawn instead of just going and communicating. Facebook has took over a whole bunch of stuff. It got people acting crazy, like literally mentally challenged to get paid or
all the antics
stuff and all that just to get
Yeah.
paid. And then I found out it's only like 1 cent for every 1,000 or something. Like it's nothing. They're getting paid nothing to just sit on Facebook all day. People are quitting their job and everything.
It'll be a social media influencer.
Social media influencer, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the terminology.
And if social media gets shut down today, then
what you gonna do?
Well, I mean, and I get it. I know people have parlayed that into successful careers or whatever. But building something on something so fragile, because people are so, like, we talked about that a couple shows ago. People are so wishy-washy. Mm-hmm. You could be the favorite thing on TikTok or Instagram right now, and then all of a sudden,
it's all about trends.
Nobody listens to you.
Yeah.
So, but okay, what was the next one, Jabari? Because I want to get through these, because I do want to go back to hot topics. There's a couple things I want to get y'all opinion on.
It says intimacy outside of marriage. The 3 C's of intimacy are communication, compromise, and commitment.
Communication.
Those were the last one too.
Yeah, they both go. Yeah, they both pretty much go together. Yeah.
Okay, so the second one was intimacy outside of. Okay, outside.
Yeah, and then.
Well, let's take that. Let's take that. Let me break that off real quick and take it a different direction. If you're single, and I think if a person is single, as far as I'm concerned, and I know it's not me, but to be in a relationship at a certain age with a person and not taking it to the intimacy level before you get married, do you think that's even plausible? I mean, I know it's plausible. I know that's what you're supposed to do, but
say it again.
Is it going to be?
Go ahead.
Being intimate before marriage is it? How do you feel about that? You know what I mean? Like,
when you say intimate, you mean like,
sexual.
So having sex before marriage. What do I feel about it?
I mean, because we are married now.
Yeah,
but like, and I have a daughter, right? And I'm trying to instill in her that your virginity is something that you can only give one time, and so because people are so wishy-washy in this day and age, the person that you're, like you earlier, the person you're so in love with right now may not be the person you're in love with 6 months from now.
Right.
So don't give a lifelong or one in a lifetime thing to somebody who's gone in a hot second. And I'm like, I know in the carnal world to say I'm not going to be intimate with somebody right now until I get married may be far-fetched for a lot of people, because a lot of people, especially at my age, a guy's not going to probably not go for it. I don't, if he really cares about you, he will. But even if you do hold out and you wait, what's the guarantee that once you are together, once you're married, that he's still not going to leave? So, I mean, I'm not pushing for it to be for intimacy before marriage. It is a personal choice. I just think that in this day and age, sex is just so freely given in this day.
Do you not feel like, and I don't know, maybe it's just me, but do you not feel like sex might need to be a part of that decision? And the only reason I'm saying that, the only reason I'm saying that is because that's something you need. Not need, but that would be a need. That would be a need.
Let me say, before you let me say this. Okay, let me say this. Because people who are already experienced in sex,
right,
feel like it's a need, because you already know now what you want, mm-hmm, right, what you desire, and what you don't want.
Well, I'm experienced. Sorry. No,
but
yeah.
But if you are a virgin, mm-hmm, if you've never had sex with anybody, and your partner has never had sex with anybody, then what you have is what you have. I don't think you're going to be like, oh, well, I don't like this because it's not this, because you have nothing to compare it to. So,
I mean, I know having sex I mean, when I, it's really something. It's supposed to be a spiritual connection. You're supposed to be, you're supposed to not just be doing it just to be doing it.
Yeah.
Like, the sexy red thing. She was just doing it.
Just to be doing
it. She don't love him.
No.
You could tell. It wasn't like she wasn't even touching him. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't intimate. Like you said, it was just
it's called intimacy. Yes. It wasn't intimate.
I just feel like it needs to be tested out before you gotta test drive, especially before marriage, because you mess around and you get married and you don't fall in love, but like you said, people cheat because it's something they don't want. I mean, it's something that they need. Like if it's just not good, it's not good. I would be experienced, and I done had John.
But doesn't it go to the communication part about if he's not doing what you desire to tell him, so that he can improve it?
Okay, and what if it doesn't? What if it never?
Yeah, happens? I don't know. You gotta really, literally, like it's a connection thing whenever it's on that level. You know what I mean? There's not any fixing something like that. It ain't like you could talk about sex. It's like that's how I feel about it. I don't know. It's like we done been together so long. It's just a different level. But I mean, I can't see me saying, communicating like, oh, this is how I want this to be. You know what I mean? That's just me. You know what I mean? I don't know if other people do it.
Because you should just be able to do it, and just about being spiritually connected.
It's a connection. Yes. Like when you're really, you know what I mean? I don't want to get in depth about it, but
that's the thing. And that's the thing. If you're a novice, if you don't know, if you never had sex, if you don't know what to compare it to. Mm-hmm. So what can you?
I don't know, but I mean, in today's age. What you talking about, the relationship you would have had to have met in high school, you know what I mean? But I don't really know too many adult versions. I don't know.
Not only that,
I'm not talking about the adults. I'm talking about younger kids.
Like
people that just now starting, meeting, everything.
High school,
right.
But your mind's not even all the way developed back then either. So you're gonna make drastic decisions. You're gonna do stupid stuff. You know what I mean? You're gonna be a kid. But that's the thing about where social media is downhill, so now they're exposed to it. Like, we not the only people that are seeing it or talking about the sexy red thing. The kids are too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So it's like
that's how I found.
That's on their timeline too.
It's everywhere. Yeah.
So it's like that's what they seeing, and then they just gonna think, okay, maybe the little girl gonna think, okay, well, when I have sex, it's okay for me to just lay there and act like it's okay because I seen Sexy Red do it. So I mean, hey, it's totally fine, even though she's not into it. You know what I mean? It's like,
well, what I'm saying is, with me, if I love the person that I'm with, then like you say, it's an emotional connection. So it's not about what he got, what he ain't got, what he do, what he don't do. To me, it's an emotional connection between me and him. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, and I know we all have preferences of what we like and what we don't like, but in this day and age, it's so much for a person to live up to. That's why I'm like, if you haven't done it, wait. And the problem is the chances of you finding somebody else who ain't done it is so slim to none.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Because either he's done it or you've done it. And,
usually, yeah.
And somebody has something to compare it to. And so that's how I'm like, I think it needs to wait. I think it needs to wait. And back in our day, it was uncool to be a virgin.
I'm pretty sure that's still
well, it's kind of split right now. It's kind of where it's not uncool, but it's not discussed. Mm-hmm. It's not frowned upon, but they don't down them for not being, for being a
which
virgin.
Is cool because at the end of the day, it's an adult. It's really an adult act. I seen a tweet about that. Like somebody said, you shouldn't have sex until you over 18. Like it should be a law. I wouldn't say it shouldn't be a law, but I would say that you should raise your child to, live up to that standard because you're legally an adult at that point. It's like I was saying, your mind is not even all the way there to be doing all that. And then when you're doing it back then, you're not even really gonna be into it because you're just, doing it just because at that point.
Which goes back to the conversation we've had on the show plenty of times before with the whole transgender community. My thing is, a child cannot decide what they are.
Nah.
Because you can't decide that you are gay or bisexual or transgender if one, you've never ever had sex. Number one.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, how do you know that you want to be a girl if you've never even experienced being a boy?
Right.
So when you talk about, there was a TikTok I found today where the guy was saying, you know, it should be against the law to give kids puberty blockers. And a guy walked up and said, how do you know that? What makes you think that you know that? And they showed a clip of a little boy. He's about 3 or 4. And the guy put $10,000 in front of him on one side. And then he put 2 double stuffed Oreos on the other side. And asked him, which one do you want? And the little boy went to grab the Oreos.
Of course he did.
And he's like, no, wait. You sure you want the Oreos? This is $10,000.
What that mean to that little boy?
Right.
Don't mean nothing to him.
That's what people don't understand. Like, I don't,
They don't
that's
think
another
that
subject
way.
too. It's like
Yeah.
you got to put yourself in your child's shoes. You know what I'm saying? It's
Exactly.
like, why would they know what this green dot,
I don't
green
know.
object?
Jaja would have.
I mean,
money.
yeah,
And he probably
but
would have said,
that's
"I can buy
because-
more."
Exactly.
That's because he knows what money is, and we talk to him like we're
Yeah.
talking right now. Everybody don't talk to a child, you know, the way we talk to him. He knows what money is and the value of money. He gets his own ice cream at the ice cream truck, goes
Yeah.
by all that
Out of
stuff.
his
so,
wallet, so
out of
he
his
knows,
wallet, right?
right.
So, but that's because of how we
We
bring
let
them up.
them buy their own
But-
things, and when it's done, it's just done.
Your
If you broke,
average
you broke.
5-year-old is going to take them Oreos because they don't really know. Their parents aren't discussing money with them or anything like that. So
It's the
like,
age old. It's the age old trick of, do you want the penny? I mean, not the penny. You want the dime or do you want the nickel? You want the dime. You want the nickel.
you want a
because
nickel's
it's
bigger. Yeah, as a kid, that's what
So
you're
you
going to
don't.
pick.
You don't. And to give these kids life altering decisions when
It's
they're not
crazy,
even
man.
their brain isn't even developed.
Crazy.
You have to be 16 to drive a car. You have to be 21 to drink alcohol.
That's the craziest thing. I'm thinking about it. You know, it's like you got to have laws for all these things that you're listing. Why wouldn't there be a law for this? You know what I
Exactly.
mean? It's like
You
I
can't
don't
even get
understand that.
married until you're 18.
18.
Unless you get, well, I don't know if it's in the United States, but unless you get, even if you're emancipated, you still have to wait till you're 18. You know, you can get emancipated at 16, right?
At 16, yeah.
But you still can't get married
I
until
don't think
you're
they
18.
married, yeah.
Right.
So these are life altering things that really don't affect anybody
But the child.
but this puberty blocker, it affects them permanently.
Yeah, that's crazy.
If I don't get my license at 16, the world does not come to an end.
Nah.
Because
right.
if I have to wait till I'm 18,
Yeah, sorry, you go
I
straight
just
to the DMV.
go straight to the DMV.
All right.
You know, if I can't buy a gun, you know, it's not going to be the end of the world. If I don't get married until I'm 18 because I'm so in love with my boyfriend at 16, I can't get married till I'm 18. The world's not come to an end.
Yeah, time is the solution to all of those, but actually blocking, you know what I'm saying, certain hormones, time can't get that back. Once you make that
Exactly.
decision, it's over with.
Exactly.
It's like-
And that's what I was, that's what I was saying because I'm like, you know, I try to talk to the kids that come to my house if they have questions, and I let their parents know, hey, they got questions.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me talking to them, I'll talk to them. If not, I'll make sure like, hey, you know, that's something you talk to your mom. Well, I don't
Right.
really want to tell them, but you'll be surprised at what they would say if you just came and talked to them. You know, because my kids like, talk to my mom. My mom will help you.
Yeah, I was about to say, some people, parents I've seen, that they're not as understanding or you know, willing to talk to their child on that level either. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because it's not, and Jamia, she says, how do you know if you're bisexual, if you're straight, or if you're gay? I said, have you ever had sex before? And she was like, well, I'm just asking. I said, if the person's never had sex before, they don't know what they are.
Right.
You don't know
It's
what
in the
you
term bisexual.
Thank you. Thank
in the
you.
terminology. It's
You
like,
know, and I'm
but people really don't think about words. I mean, the way I do, I should say. I mean,
It's
'cause
called a sexuality.
you know what I mean? It's like I break down
Exactly.
what we're saying. I think about each word that I'm using. I don't just talk, which a lot of time people do. They just talk because they got a mouth. They just use the words that they learned and came up with. They don't really know what they mean. They just saying it. Like, you don't even know what it means to be bisexual or what it means to be gay because you haven't even walked down that path like you're saying. It's like,
Let me tell you, I was in the 8th grade, I think, 7th grade, and I heard a bunch of kids talking, right, about French kissing. I did not know what that meant. Had no clue what that meant. But I listened to the conversation, and I heard the girl say, he put his tongue in my mouth. That's when I realized, because you listen to the conversation.
You put the pieces together.
You put the pieces together.
Oh, that's what that means. That's what a French kiss is.
But I was in 7th grade, so how else supposed to know that?
Yeah,
you know
right. How else would you, unless,
French
like you
kiss.
said, until you come across a conversation. Okay, that's what that means.
That's what that
A majority of the time when you learn slang or, different words, that's how it happens. Like, you're in a school environment or you're in a peer-to-peer environment, and people are talking, and you hear these words, you're like, what that mean? Or you sit back and you put the pieces together yourself. It's like,
oh Lord, my dad watch.
that's how hey, it's real life.
It is real life. And
You got to be ready to have these conversations with the kids.
And I try now to have that open conversation, and I've always kept that line of communication open with my children, but I think I opened it too much because they, like I said, I've said to y'all this before. They share too much with me. I'm like, okay, just give me just the basics. I don't need to know everything else. I just need to know the basics. My son don't mind telling me nothing, and Jamia tell me everything. So I'm like, I don't want to not, I guess, deter her from telling me. So I just kind of grin and bear it, when she's telling me stuff. Luckily, it ain't nothing really about her, but she'll ask me intimate questions because she's heard people talk about something, and she wants to know. And I'm like, do I tell her? I don't want her to be curious. So I want to tell her, to educate her and to give her not only the facts about it, but to kind of deter her from wanting to try it herself, But going back to intimacy as far as relationships, I personally think if I could do it all over again, I would wait until I got married. Only because I think that connection would have been a lot stronger. But then again, I wouldn't have. I personally think if I had waited and found somebody who was like me, maybe. But then again,
a lot of the time you're not gonna find nobody like yourself. You're not gonna. You're not. That's not how.
That's in the perfect.
That's like a fairy tale.
You don't want to be with nobody like
that's like yourself anyway. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm a hopeless romantic.
Not like
that's just
100%. That we have certain things. Like we have a whole bunch of things that we
have
do alike and
yeah.
in common.
Commonalities.
But it's not. I wouldn't want him to be like.
I don't mean like me.
And argue.
When I say like me, I meant like me in the mindset of they're not out here running the street doing this, doing that.
Right.
That they are. Even if they've experimented, they're still trying to wait until they find that right person. But now the thing about it was, I knew plenty of people like that, and I'm gonna be 100. They just weren't attractive to me because they were not experienced. So it's like a catch-22.
That's why I'm like, you done before you get married, and you done got married, and he just hunching and jackrabbit and what are you gonna do then? And then, like you said, you can try to teach him, but if he has no rhythm, he just has no rhythm.
I think
now you're stuck.
If you're not connected,
now you done got married to
truly believe that you can communicate and make your relationship better. I believe that. I believe if you desire a particular thing, if you talk to that man or talk to that woman and y'all come to an understanding that it'll work. I mean, how many relationships, how many old people, grandparents and great-grandparents have 6, 8, 10 children? Right. Evidently somebody was doing something right.
Right. Exactly.
And they weren't... It wasn't about a romantic connection with them.
They stayed together too. Like most of them had both of the parents unless something happened with the dad or whatever. But
they did.
Yeah, like it stopped. It stopped.
Well, I ain't gonna say it stopped. I think that
it stopped, but now it's increasing. Which I will say, shout out to that. I seen a statistic that says 70% of the homes are with two parents these days. So, that's pretty much good. But it did decline at one point. I don't know exactly when.
I think it's probably around
a majority
90s.
of millennials didn't grow up with two parents.
Another thing is, me and Jabari did not from '07 till March. Well,
Peanut.
No, March. We didn't. From then on, like we wasn't. It was cheating that happened on both ends. It was, kids from outside of the relationship. All kind of stuff happened. So he got to go off and do his own thing and realize, okay, this is not what I want. I did the same thing. All right, this is not what I want. Sometimes it's like you gotta go test the waters.
And Drake said it best. Sometimes, what he say? How he say it? When I was just listening to the song, he said,
you gotta
sometimes you gotta know when the difference can make all the difference.
Yes, like you gotta.
He said it perfect. I said I never heard it like that. I love that song. That's one of my favorite songs. I just played it the other day.
That was profound. I have to
very
say.
profound because that's how Drake is. He hits you with the stuff that you be like, man, that went over my head. But then you think about it. Sometimes knowing the difference could make all the difference. Exactly. You're like, okay, I really do want to be with this person. Yeah. So, and that's a big part of being in a relationship too. We done been without each other for however time period. We done went without seeing each other and came back like nothing. Everything was back to normal. All kind of different things. It's like people are not ready to go through relationships like that. It's like you think that thing's supposed to be peachy cleany all the time. Oh, they don't love me.
Pondering on the past.
Right.
I'm not gonna. We back together. We're not gonna keep talking about what happened.
That's over with. It's supposed to be under the rug.
Years ago.
But a lot of people don't move like that. And I don't know.
But when you keep bringing up the past, and I was a person like that because I can say I forgive you, but I didn't. And the minute you started moving,
you might have forgave, but you did not forget.
You didn't forget.
I didn't forget. So when you start moving in a way that was similar to the way that you was moving before, it kind of brought all that stuff back.
Yep.
Yeah. And
now it's just happening all over.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm not gonna continue to forgive just to keep forgetting. Trying to forget. I'm not gonna forget. It's gonna always be in the back of my mind, and I'm like, I can forgive you and move on. I'm not going to forget it because I need to know how I got there. Like you said about bills, how we got here and how not to come here again.
Right.
So, I don't know. I think, like with you guys' story, sometimes you do have to separate in order to know this is what I had.
Yeah.
But then again, you run the risk of that other person not doing the same thing.
Then it's not.
It ain't genuine. It ain't meant to be there.
If it's not, if it don't come back, then more than likely, and I'm not gonna say that because sometimes people come back and it just
you never
try
know.
it again and it just doesn't work the second time. But if it's meant to be, you're gonna be able to tell it's meant to be. It's gonna be hard to get away from. And it's not just relationships, friendships too. Yeah. If you are trying to get away from something and that's not that the Lord doesn't want or that's destined to be, it's not. You're not gonna get away from it. It's gonna continue to come back.
Yeah, firm believer. It's already written. It's already written.
Yes, it's gonna come back.
And like I say, with and I talk about my relationship with her brother all the time. I personally believe that whether we would make it or not, we were together for a particular reason, for a particular time frame. Because out of that, I got 2 kids. Mm-hmm. I got 2 sisters. Mm-hmm. I got a mother-in-law, which most people don't even get along with their mother-in-law. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I got 2 nephews. So I gain. I got 2 brothers. I gained things that I would not otherwise have without going through what I went through. Right. And so I personally think that people, when you talking about, was it communication? What was the other 2?
Consistency, communication. And what was the third one? And compromise. Yeah.
Communication, consistency, and compromise. I think, to me, communication and compromise are big.
Major part of a relationship. Yeah.
Consistency is what tie those 2 together. Mm-hmm. Because if what you're saying is not matching what you're doing, the relationship is never going to work. Right. Because that person's never going to feel at ease and never going to feel at peace and never going to feel secure. Compromise, I think, is a big part of a relationship because everything does not, I was talking about earlier with your brother, everything does not always go according to plan. Yeah. And if you don't have any, space to compromise in the relationship, what are you going to do? I mean, everything can't go exactly how you planned it. It's not ever going to work that way. And the other one was communication. That was a big thing for me. I did not want to tell a person that I didn't like something. I didn't want to tell a person that I don't want to do this or do that. And I kind of suffered through it because I thought that if I loved you, I should not accept what you do, but accept how things work. Mm-hmm. You know, now you're talking about like cheating or but how the relationship was, because you grew up different than I did, and this is how you were used to growing up. So I think that I just need to keep going this way, you know. And even though I felt differently, but I'm like, you know, okay, well, I don't want to make this person feel a certain type of way, or I don't want to cause waves, so I'm just going to keep going. But I never ever communicated the way that I should have, which is but I watch you guys talk all the time. Mm-hmm. You guys communicate consistently all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that you guys been together for so long.
Yeah, we had those hard talks. We have, random talks throughout the day about just stuff that we could, deep stuff. I don't even know how to even...
We talk about everything, anything.
Yeah, it's like...
throughout the day, like that's every day too. I mean, you have to communicate with. I mean, we together.
Right.
I heard somebody say, "Don't be with anybody that can't teach you anything." Mm-hmm. If you can't teach me anything,
but see, that's crazy because I just watched a video about that. Like, I'm more like on the intellect side. Like, she's more like common sense and like more in tune with like nature and stuff like that. Yep. You know what I'm saying? That's a big part of our relationship too. It's like I'm able to learn stuff on that end, she's able to learn stuff from my end, so it's like it's a perfect balance. What I mean? It's like we're not batting heads on the intellect, like she's not a brainy, you know what I mean? It's like we're not ever gonna be like, oh, I know this. It's like we willing to be like, oh, okay, I didn't know that, you know what I mean? Like, tell me more, you know what I mean? So it's like, and that's a big part of parenting too, because the kids are gonna have both aspects also.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I know I can come to my dad when it comes to like this math problem. I might not come to my mom, but I could talk to her about anything, you know what I mean? Or whatever the case may be, and vice versa, but it's like, that's a major part of relationships. You got to be able to complement each other in the right areas.
Well, I will say, you surprised me a lot. Like, I always knew, and I kind of figured, I thought you were kind of like with Angelica. I thought you was pretty much the happy-go-lucky, but you was always so quiet, and I was like, maybe he just quiet around everybody else, but her.
He is.
Then when you came to the show, and I mean, well, I've known for quite a while, but when you came to the show and you started talking, I'm like, this dude's a walking encyclopedia.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
like you literally study stuff.
Randomly, yeah. Like, and then I got Jaja following suit behind me because now we watch documentaries together and all that stuff. But that's just how I am. It's like, it's really natural. You gotta want to have that. You gotta want to yearn for it. You know what I mean? It's like, if you don't want it, then you're not. A lot of people go. And that's how I feel about college. It's like, don't go unless you really want to focus on what you want to do with your career, or else you're gonna be wasting your time. Exactly. I mean, it's a good experience. You network, you meet people, but that's not what it's really for. You know what I mean? It's like, I went there. I'm a living example of it. I was just there because my mom wanted me to go, for real. And I got it. I got the experience and meet people and learn how it it's supposed to go. But if you're not going for a career, it's like you're really wasting your time. It's like, that's how I feel about that. But got a little off topic.
No, but it's still on topic, because I'm like, I think the communication part is big. I watch how you guys talk together. You talk to each other, and how you are consistent. Like, I've never seen you guys act differently in the whole time y'all been together. It's always, you treat her the same way, she treats you the same way. Nothing ever wavers. And I just think that's, an example. Me and my dad, he's watching. Me and my dad was talking about, like, he was so proud of how you guys have, endured everything from the past to come to where you are now.
Got through the mud. Really? Went back in. Got out the mud, went back in. Like, people don't even understand the things we done. We got a book over here, but, I mean...
a self-help book, honestly. A relationship book. But, you guys have been, like you said, you've been through it. And, like you said, you separated, you were still going through your own individual things, and you came back together. And the fact that you had enough love to accept all of the things that came with the person when they came back.
Yeah.
And then kept going forward. A lot of people can't do that.
Highest level of understanding. You got to be able to understand that person. I mean, that's really what it boiled down to me.
in love with somebody
Yeah,
and loving
you
somebody.
gotta actually know your partner. Like it go back to like knowing how they came up and everything. That's a big thing too. It's like, okay, I understand why you made the decisions you made because it's how you came up, and vice versa. This is why I made certain decisions. So let me tighten it up here. But that's how you fix it. Communicating those things to each other. It's like, okay, I don't like when you do this. It could be something as small as like leaving the dishes in the sink or something like that.
Yeah.
And then that's how you come up. It's like, I don't, I didn't really watch this like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you got to learn that and be like, okay, let me go ahead and do this because my partner doesn't like that.
It was a Medea saying.
Like it.
It was a Medea saying.
It's the truth. I ain't come up washing dishes and nothing like that.
But I didn't come up leaving the dishes in the sink.
Exactly. So you got to be able to compromise. I go back to that 1C right there, the compromise of it. It's like, do you really love this person enough to change what you came up with? Like literally break how you came up, you know what I'm saying, just to please that person because that's how, are you willing to do that? That's the compromise part. I talk to a lot of my friends about that because they ask me all the time, like, hey, how do y'all do it? Y'all so perfect. I'm like, man, it ain't about being perfect. It's about thinking about your partner.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like,
exactly.
How would they feel if I do this? Like, that's a major part of cutting the cheating out. It's like, all right, like, how would they feel if they knew I was doing this? How would they feel if you get caught? I already know what this is going to lead down to. I know the path is going to go down to. Like, you lose trust, all that. Who want to do that? Who wants to go through all that? But, I mean, people
Nobody
do
wants
it.
to go through all that. Nobody.
In the heat of the moment, they do. But it's like...
But now I will say this. So I think we only the live ended. I think my phone went dead. But we still have it's still streaming on YouTube. So the other question that I have for both, like, I heard it first. I heard it saying in a Medea play when he said, if you're arguing about who left the cap off the toothpaste, there's a bigger argument than who left the cap off the toothpaste.
A lot of the time.
That's why I said we argue about nothing. Like he just said something about the dishes, like the dishes in this. I work overnight, so if I come home and there's 2 or 3 dishes, it bothers me. Why? Because I don't know. I just don't.
It's how you came up, like I said. Yeah, it's like
and it don't be like a whole because we don't do no whole bunch of mess, but it's just I don't know. It's just something that I grew up on.
When she but raised with I had her since she was 3 and it was like that go clean your mess up if you go in there and cook something, clean up behind yourself, and that way the kitchen always clean,
right?
And I just think that's just but now in my state that I am now, I'm a little bit more lenient because everybody's always on the go. Grab something to eat and you right back out the door. But then in 2 days, if it's some dishes in the sink, if there's a cup in the sink, plates, whatever, what's the harm if you go in there and washing it?
Yeah. Or just wash it when you're done. I mean,
just wash it.
It's just one.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I learned that through her. Just as you cooking, just go ahead and clean it as you go. Cause you're not gonna want to do it after you.
I'm a clean as I cook kind of person. Once the pot is empty,
because once it's
I go
done,
ahead and wash it.
First and foremost, you don't feel like you ready to eat.
Yeah.
Then once you eat, it's like, oh.
Then you putting energy into cooking. You don't really feel like doing anything after you cook. But that's the perks of having a partner that's willing to compromise. Because then you be like, you do the dishes, I'll cook. Stuff like that. But people not willing to do that because of the whole, what's it called?
The male female thing. They feel like male shouldn't do this, female should do that.
Female duties, male duties, stuff like
okay. Let me tell you something that I stupidly agreed to when I got married. Okay, so your brother said, you take care of the inside of the house, I'll take care of the outside of the house, and in the great scheme of things, that might seem like it's a great thing, right?
I just told him that the other day.
But I'm like, as I got older, I started thinking about it. I'm like, wait a minute. You cut grass maybe, and it's only during a specific time of the year, and that's like once a week, But I'm washing dishes every day. I'm washing clothes every day. I'm vacuuming every day. I'm taking care of the kids every day. So the inside the house has way more responsibilities than the outside.
Right.
So, and I'm like, I was like, anybody getting married, do not agree to that. That is not a thing.
It's different though, because I'm just over here thinking randomly. A lot of my friends, like, they're not with their kids as much as I am. And they ask me about that too. Like, how do you do that? I mean, I don't think of watching my kids as like babysitting. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are my kids. So it's like, and I didn't grow up with my dad. So that's the reason why I'm so strong about being around my sons every day. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So it's like a lot of people, like a lot of fathers, they look at it as like a duty when it's really, it's like something that you supposed to do. You know what I'm saying?
Why
It's
is
like,
why do they feel like it's a duty?
they feel like it's like a job.
It's a woman's job.
Yeah, that goes in what we was talking about. Like,
and that is just not true. You know, with now don't get me wrong, I spent a lot more time with my mom than I did my dad because my dad was always working and he was still, you know, in the military, so he was always gone periodically, you know. But when he was home, we did stuff with him. You know, he was there. But my mom, like when we talking about compromise earlier, the dishes in the sink. So Thanksgiving, and you already know, anybody that knows my family knows my mom's Thanksgiving dinner is ridiculous, right?
Right.
So my sister always mentions like, you don't never come in here and cook and da 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 da. You can't cook, and I'm like, no, I can cook, but what I'm not gonna do is cook all night and then have to clean up the next day after everybody finishes because she's not gonna clean up. You know what I'm saying?
Not cleaning
Grandma
up.
ain't gonna clean up.
No.
So who's left to clean up? It's me. So what I'm not gonna do is stay up all night helping you cook.
Well, hold on.
What?
Hold on. It was 2 kids in that house, and we had to clean up back in the day. So Jamia and Jacob need to be cleaning.
Exactly.
It's your kids. No, exactly. You didn't, because we cleaned.
They don't clean like I do.
You had a break.
You could clean.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Clean.
After you clean a couple times, you know how to wash dishes.
After you told me I half-aid. Half-aid. That was the first curse word I ever heard her use, y'all. Ass. I'm sorry. You had, and she said it all the time. I said, "Oh my goodness." So that ain't that what I'd be like.
But her niece is the same way. Jamia will go clean the bathroom, and I go in there and the counters the counters are clean. The bathroom, the toilet's been clean. I look in the shower, it's the ring around the tub.
Oh,
there's still stuff on the floor, and I'm like, you didn't even sweep the floor. I said, you didn't even sweep the floor. I said, clean the tub.
Yeah, you have to do it all. Look, from start to end.
And I told her, I said, she cleaned the kitchen the other night. I said, go wash the dishes. She said, okay. She washed the dishes. I came home, and the stove wasn't wiped off. The floor hadn't been mopped or swept. And she was like, I said, get up, go back downstairs to clean the kitchen up. She said, I did clean the kitchen. I said, well, wash. You said wash the dishes. Yeah. I said, when I say wash dishes, I mean
who does this sound like?
Clean. I said, wipe the stove, sweep the floor, mop the floor, wipe all the counters off, put the dishes up.
Look, he got to hear himself firsthand. Who I get everything.
Yeah, I just know these boys, they gonna be mad, boy. It is what it is.
That was nothing. On the weekends at Grandma and Granddad's house, we had to get up and clean up. And nothing. Because we had just cleaned up the day before, so it was really nothing to do, but we had to do something.
But straighten the back up.
Get a broom. Straighten
the back up.
Fix your bed, vacuum if you got to, and just little stuff, which should be done. If you take 5 minutes out your day to clean your house every day, anyways, you won't have,
you won't have a big mess.
And that's some people don't have it to do, but
that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah,
like my house is in disarray because I'm running back and forth with Jamia every single day, doing this. And between getting off at 2 and having to run errands, you throw a load of clothes in the washing machine, it'll stay in there until the next day before I switch it over to the dryer if I don't have to wash it over again.
Right.
You know, it's like I can't. My life is just like it's this disorder right now. So I have to get that back together. Just need me like about 2 weeks off.
Right.
2 weeks off.
Just to start over fresh.
Right. I need a week to rest, and then I do work in the next week. But anyway. So it's like we got like about 35 more minutes. I need to get back into hot topics.
Yes.
Okay. So, of course, did you see the whole? It was Rhapsody in Bohemia, whatever the title of the show was, the Love and Hip Hop show. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so they talked about. Me and my sister were talking about the other day. They brought up the whole Erica Mena. They showed the after footage and everything, and they did a little round table discussion with some of the celebrities. And what's the girl from New York? She's married to Mendici. Yandy. So Yandy confronted Erica about it. And Erica pretty much, she didn't apologize. She just said...
What did Erica say?
I seen that clip. She was pretty much...
What did Yandy say?
Yandy said, "Why are you calling us monkeys now?" You know what I'm saying? And
She
then
said every black person was offended. And
Yeah, she
"No,
said
you're
I felt some
offended."
type of way. I'm offended. And then Erica pretty much tried to brush it off like, "Now you know me. You know I'm not. You know I'm not a
but she
racist.
also
You know
said,
me."
But then she also said you offended because you want to be offended.
Yeah, that's what she told her.
That's what she
You
said.
offended because you want to be offended.
And-
Like you choosing to follow this wave, pretty much. You know what I'm
And
saying?
then-
When you know me, that's her argument.
Yeah, you know me.
Yeah, I know you to be. You done said this a couple times.
Yeah, right. See,
So
I
how
didn't
many
even know
times am I
that.
supposed to let you slide?
Right.
And then this is the thing I said. She brought up the whole thing with what Spice said, and
Same thing everybody said.
I'm kind of,
Spice was not the first one to bring that out of her mouth.
No,
Everybody
no.
said it.
and I think what set Erica off, because remember if you saw the episode, she said before she stood up, "Where did you get that from?" And she knew where she got it from. She knew that okay, I can say something about you, and you might get mad. But if I say something about you that don't nobody else know but him,
Yeah.
and you realize that I got it from him,
Mm-hmm.
is that gonna make you 10 times as mad as it was the first time?
Yeah, I'm gonna be mad with him.
Exactly. So I think she took it out on Spice. I personally, and we talking about Love and Hip Hop and Atlanta, right? All right, is that Atlanta?
I guess.
Yeah,
I don't
Atlanta.
know.
Okay. So, but my thing is, Erica was wrong 100%. And they had the whole round table with, I don't think it was Mona Scott. It was somebody else from her team that did the whole discussion with them. And Yandy said if she had apologized, she would have went to bat for it. But because she didn't apologize, she's like, she just washed her hands of it. Her friends also called her out and told her she was wrong. She was dead wrong.
I'm trying to figure out why is everybody acting like they just noticed just happened.
Yeah,
But
like that's the
problem
weird
that I
part,
have.
man.
Is everybody acting?
Yeah, they
Because
acting.
you know why? Because they lost views, they lost respect.
They
probably-
riding the
so now
wave.
they have to gain all that back by acting like
Bruh.
what they
If
recorded,
nobody
they
said
didn't know.
anything about this wouldn't even be a discussion.
It wouldn't even be a discussion because, like
It
I
would've
said,
went over
she
heads.
said it to Johnny Blaze. It's more about colorism
Yeah.
because she said it to Johnny Blaze.
It's really a
and
colorism
it just
thing.
was nothing. It was nothing even done about it. It was aired. Nobody said anything.
People
But
hopped
because-
on the narrative
exactly.
and was like, okay, we could do something with this. Y'all need to talk about this. Yandy, you need to go. Because at the end of the day, these cameras are placed perfectly for these conversations. Like, that's how you know right there. It's
They
not
set
like...
'em up. They
It's
set 'em
not
up.
like the Big Brother shows or the College Hill shows where the camera's right there the whole time, so you just naturally talking or whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's like these
You kinda
cameras.
forget.
But how many people have, like, just an example, Tashiki, whatever, Krishan's sister, she has a habit of calling all the females she don't like meatball. She just say meatball. Okay. No, but I'm gonna get
You're right though.
I'm gonna get something for that. She does that. Okay, so now everybody knows that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Erica has fallen out with a whole lot of people. You're not gonna tell me you just called 2 and 3 people
A monkey, and that's a
like,
common
you know,
thing.
like, and not if you said it all the time. Like, if she just said, "Yeah, monkey," all the time, if that was just her word, like meatball, then you can say, "You know me."
Erica
you
say that
know
all the
me.
time. Yeah, right.
But you don't say. No, I'm saying like she don't say it enough. Like Tashiki do. Tashiki literally
Yeah,
calls
that's what I'm
every
saying.
female
Like, if she
don't
kept
like.
saying it, like,
Yes.
oh, yeah,
She
Oh,
said
it's
it. She
over.
only said it to a couple of people, and they were black, and you know what I'm saying. Like, she knew what she
Now,
was doing.
if she was saying it to any and everybody, no matter
All the
what
time.
Right, all the
they
time.
we
were,
would know
Yeah.
that was
Would
her
never been a
word.
thing.
Right, right.
That was
Now,
her word.
But I think my problem with it, I have a problem with Erica. But my biggest problem is Mona Scott. That's my biggest issue.
Of course.
Because they call people BA, the N word. You know what I'm saying?
They call people all
They
kind of
call
stuff on that show.
They call them bees all day long. They call them, whatever. They call them
Right.
all kind of
What they
names.
want.
And I'm like, while monkey is, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it how I said it. Okay. They call people names all day long. Names that people would be offended by if you called them that. I would be. But monkey was the
Tip of the iceberg.
tip of the iceberg. I mean, I'm just like, really? Like, you just got through calling. America says the N word
Right.
all the time.
Nobody even bats an eye
Nobody says
about
a
that.
thing. Nobody says a thing. But and then you have people, Shakana. She calls people BA N-word all day long. You know what I'm saying? But Monkey was the straw that broke the camel's back.
But it goes back to like you just said, all day long.
Yeah, I was just about
All
to
of
say the same
these
thing. They know
This is what
that's
they
her.
say.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I'm not saying it's okay.
Nah.
But we know Shakana for having a dirty mouth.
It's not
We know
justification.
For,
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
certain people to say certain things, and that's just what they say.
But what
is just.
But what I'm saying is, has she? Because she said it more than once.
Right. But she's done gotten to way more arguments than that.
But I think it boils down to who she said it to.
Right. Because like
one,
you said, that didn't
Spice
do
is
nothing
a rising star. 2, Spice is legitimately the darkest person on the show.
Yeah.
Besides Safari, you know.
She's darker than him?
Oh, she's
Yeah.
from
Out of
Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Yeah.
So I think that had a lot to do with it. You know what I'm saying? But with Mona Scott, I'm like, the problem I have is none of us would have known anything about what happened had Mona Scott not, if she had scrapped it and said, hey, I'm not showing that because you can't say that. We're not going to air you saying that. Then it would have been,
it was all weird because they all waited until they actually have watch parties. So
yeah, exactly.
You watched it. Y'all all sat down and watched it before it even
came out.
But it was a closed, controlled environment. It wasn't the world.
Yeah,
so they didn't even bat an eye.
You didn't fire her when she said it. You didn't fire her when you reviewed it. You didn't fire her when it was time for you to put it on the show and put it out. You didn't fire her at the review, but you waited until everybody in the world had something to say and they didn't like it because I'm sure they probably lost subscriptions and and all that other stuff.
People said they're gonna stop watching the show.
Now they had to go to the crew and say, all right, let's all get it together real quick and act like we're upset and we didn't know.
Like you said, the watch party.
Yeah, so everyone has the watch party.
So when you watch it and you know this is what was said, because there's no way Spice, even if they didn't have watch parties, there's no way Spice didn't go back and tell everybody what she said.
Exactly.
So now you're acting like you don't know and you're so offended by it.
When you've been new. Yeah. When you already knew a long time ago.
I think that's what I have a problem with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's weird.
So Mona Scott, I'm like, she exploits. She exploits situation and she exploited a mistake Erica made. Well, I would say the mistake. She exploited what Erica did for her benefit, and then she threw Erica on the bus because she didn't need her anymore.
Well, you know, she's doing.
Oh, she'll be back. She'll be.
Well, she doesn't care.
It'll be 2-3 years, but she'll be
she's
back.
the queen of Tubi.
Yeah, she does.
She ain't really worried about that.
She has all those movies on Tubi, and they're actually really good.
Yeah.
And they're good. All of them are good.
But she played crazy
because she is, and that's why she plays it so well.
Yeah, she got it.
The same way she acts in the movie is the same way she acts.
Have you ever seen her angry face on the movie? It's her same
angry
face
in real life. Yes. All she do is lock in how she really.
She acts the same way on the show, like she did. Like it's nothing new, but they're good. So she doesn't really need. She don't need that. And like Jocelyn Hernandez says, why y'all still doing this?
Yeah.
Y'all old. She said y'all all old and washed up.
She just said she wanted to come back to Loving Hip Hop Miami.
For what? Just because she got her own show.
Because they call Trina the Queen of Miami.
Oh Lord.
And she's like, you need the queen. You need the Puerto Rican princess. That's what she said. So aside from that, what's the newest on Krishan?
Her baby just had surgery because the daddy posted the penis on the.
Yeah, she didn't know about that.
So dad posted baby had a hernia, a growing hernia, and
are you serious?
He posted it.
He posted a picture of it.
So that's what I know what the Instagram was about. I just briefly saw something about him getting in trouble for posting a picture or something.
Well, nothing happened. See, and I lost a little respect for her because she was all in life like, I'm going to press charges and I want to do this, and she was just crying and screaming, oh my God, you did this, and you really didn't even care. Like, you didn't even care. Like, he literally posted the baby's penis.
Why? He's giving creep vibes to me.
He just got probation in another state. 24 to 60 months or something like that. Like something of the sort.
2 to 6 years, something like that.
For the shooting when he
shot somebody in the hand in Las Vegas or whatever.
Well, he didn't learn anything from Corey. What's his name? Tory Lanez.
Oh yeah, you got that 10-piece.
Yeah, he looks horrible. They just put a.
He's
I ain't gonna say
sick.
that, but oh, he's sick.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about. You know what I
sick
mean? Like he
he's
thinking
sick.
like
They posted a picture. His hair is growing though. His hair looks really healthy.
AJ,
It is.
That's just
I
not.
was so proud. I said, "Oh, that's what's up."
I think he got the surgery
she's
for
a-
that. I
she's
think.
a-
Well, it's really wrong.
She's a beautician
Yeah.
by trade. So.
I am very proud of him for that because y'all know he was bald. He's
Oh
been
my
locked up for a
gosh.
long time and his hair has
Yeah,
sprouted. But they
it's
just
gonna-
did
he gonna
an
lose it,
updated picture
for sure.
of him.
Okay.
And
So what else in the social media world? Because I haven't been able to
Queen
keep up.
Op had her baby.
Who?
Queen Op.
Oh,
She had her baby.
I hate. I mean,
She being mean.
I'm sorry. I don't want to be. I don't hate her. I hate what she does. What she
She
does.
being mean to Danny now, and she ready for her baby daddy to get out of, or he already
The
out.
Danny's
and
the
girlfriend.
girlfriend.
Yes.
What's the other? Michelle.
She hasn't been back around.
Great. Thank
That's
you.
great.
But
Thank
now
you.
she's being mean to. And then she keeps saying she only has one child. The girl got 4 kids. She said once they turn 4, they gotta go.
Oh,
She don't do 5-year-olds.
these are the people they give a platform to. It's so crazy,
It's,
man.
it's ridiculous. But you have people out here who are really legit
Man,
doing social media influencers who are actually doing something.
Those are panhandlers. Those aren't even like, what she do is she's a panhandler.
Yeah.
She tags her thing.
Putting your
and
cash
begs for
app up
money
there
all
Yeah.
the whole time.
and
Those-
asking
what are
for
you-
money. You are panhandling
People call
virtually.
themselves, social media influence. What are you influencing?
You're
Like,
virtually
literally sitting
panhandling.
there. Yes, virtually panhandling.
That's what
you
you're
might as well be
doing.
holding the sign on
You
the
might as
internet,
well be
on Facebook.
posting your cash app saying, "I need."
I need $1. It's $5 Fridays and $2 Tuesdays.
Man, that
and
is crazy,
Send me $1.
bro.
Send me $1.
And people are actually sending her money.
Everybody sends
Yeah.
everybody money. It's everybody. It's even people that got their kids. They got accounts that they go live every
And
day,
they
all
get
day
they
long.
get to
Yes,
put their cash
everybody
app up
just-
there.
mhm,
Yeah.
And people send it and they get
Why?
paid. Because they make a lot of money. If you got 1,000 viewers, if I know you can't cook and you about to cook something nasty, it's about to probably be about 500.
You going viral.
Yeah, you going viral. It's gonna be a whole bunch of people watching. You getting ready to get paid from that. On top of you doing that, you're gonna say, "Send me $5, send me $1." Somebody, just begging. They just be panhandling. People send it. People do it all the time.
It's weird, man. It's just negativity. It thrives on the internet. Like the video that went viral, me and you. Like I'm telling her to shut up playing,
Yeah.
but people literally like
And they were
commenting.
Are
talking-
you serious?
He was
Man,
yes.
listen.
He was
I
like,
got a
"Shut
plate
up."
of food, and that's probably why a lot of people like clicked on it because food is a big thing on the internet these days. A lot of people like seeing it was a nice looking plate of food, and people just commenting like, "Oh, I told her to shut up playing." She like, "Oh my gosh, she on the phone." Like I ain't know
That
you
was
doing-"
loud. They was like, "She's horrible."
I was like
She's loud."
scratching a chalkboard.
Yeah,
I'm like,
they are,
man, oh
like
my
people
god.
are just. I couldn't be.
I know they're not gonna last talking to each other like that. And I'm like, oh my god, y'all don't even know who
You're
we
eating
are.
like a cow.
And I
mind
posted-
you, he was eating with his mouth closed. Like
I'm
this
posting it just before my crowd of people, but this
Yeah.
is before I knew how big the reels were. You know what I mean? It just went up one day. I'm like, man, it's 1,000 comments over this. 500,000 people have seen this video. Literally, like,
And they were just talking
Wow.
about nothing. Like, and that's what they do on these lives when I be watching like different people lives. People just be talking about nothing. They just be
Yeah, man.
I be wondering what's in their head when they just be saying stuff. Like and I mean stuff that don't even make sense. Just talking. And they ain't the ones getting paid for it.
No.
I'm talking about the ones that's commenting.
yeah,
you
the
know?
commenters is just they feeding them.
But
at
I
the end
think
of the day.
the more comments that are made,
The more you engage, the more
money,
it pops up on the
The more
timeline.
reactions, the more
Yeah.
shares, the more comments you get paid from Facebook for that. And then on top of you begging for money to your cash.
That's your side job up there.
Yeah.
It's
crazy
just
out here in
amazing.
this
Social
world,
media is
man.
amazing to me.
Yeah.
But so other than Queen Op, anybody is there any other and for the audience that's listening, I love social media. I just don't keep up with like I should, or not I should, but like I want to. I got so much other stuff going on. So there are celebrities that I'm very, very interested in. Like any other information on the whole Remy Ma situation?
Not as of late. I mean, it's still a lot
It's
of
been
jokes.
real quiet. I know I sent a picture of them two on a date or something. I don't know how
Yeah,
recent
Easy
it
the
was.
Block Captain and her were in a restaurant setting. It looked a little datey, but
Are you serious?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, they're not.
And it's rumors that her and Papoose separated.
Yeah, I would
so
say they're not together, and neither is Iman
and Tiana, that
Taylor.
whole divorce
Okay,
thing
that-
is still going on.
I just
It's
can't
going
believe that
And
crazy.
then she got on the internet and was like, "It's not about infidelity and all this." Da, da, da.
Yeah, saying that they still best friends, which we can't comprehend. Like I don't.
I mean, I understand it, but I don't understand why are y'all. I mean, it have to be something.
It gotta be something.
What is it that y'all don't want to be together, but y'all still want to be friends?
Right.
Exactly.
It got to be something.
You know, like
Now,
is somebody gay?
now, I will say,
It don't have to be that, but
It has to be.
People are weird because we do know somebody who still wants to celebrate anniversaries, but that's
Oh
beside the point. I just don't understand. I'll accept it, but I don't understand.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
It is
but
what it is.
I just think that, and that goes back to our comments earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Communication, consistency, and compromise. I think Papoose, from the outside looking in, because I don't know, he could be a, you know what, behind closed doors.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I've seen from him over the years, even when she was locked up, compromise was his biggest strength. You know what I'm saying? He was consistent when he kept seeing her. He supported her throughout her entire bid. You know
I
what I'm
don't
saying?
think he was out here doing his.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't saying that he
who
didn't.
knows? They might have had an agreement on
yeah.
whatever. You never know what they had going on.
But his commitment never wavered. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So he got those 3 C's. So now why are we here? I think it's because she didn't have
We
them.
will never know.
But I mean, why did you hold on? Because you don't have nothing, and I do, and I'm gonna make it.
Nah,
and
he got his own money too. He a rapper too. I mean, I don't think it was. I don't.
They
We
just
don't
now
know.
having kids.
Yeah, but they both have Well, he got children outside. I don't know if she had kids. I think it's her
It's
first
her
kid.
first.
Yeah, but he got daughters that's older.
Right. Well, I don't know.
Well,
There's a lot of people breaking up right now, and I just feel like I guess their time was over.
Now, there's another thing. We got a few more minutes. There's another thing that happened. I'm a real big Anthony Mackie fan. Black Captain America. He's in the Captain.
Yeah, my man from 8 Mile, Clarence.
Yeah. But now he was in the media recently because I know it sounds like I got a cold. This is just not. I don't know what is with my eyes, but anyway, a grandmother asked him for an autograph in a picture, and I'm not sure what he was doing at the time, but he politely declined, okay, because he was actually doing something, and no, I'm sorry, he was at a game. He was at a game, and he was with, I guess, his group or whatever. And she left, went and told somebody else, an aunt or somebody. They then came back and slightly, pushed for him to do it. And he said no again. And so she went to social media and downed him because he wouldn't take the time out to take a picture.
A lot of people doing that to the celebrities, though. And it's making them feel like they have to.
Man, yeah.
And I'm a person where if you're eating, now I'll sit at my distance and take pictures of you, but I'm not going to invade your privacy while you eating your food, because that's just your space. And I don't think that celebrities are supposed to or have to, give you autographs.
there's no obligation to do anything.
I don't think they should. Yeah, I don't think they should be obligated to do anything for you. Now, if they're walking down the street and you ask, fine. If they're with their family, that's a complete no to me. Don't invade my space when I'm with my family. But they just a big thing that they talking about. He's not. He turned down a kid. And they put kid in quotations.
Who cares? I mean, not who cares, but it's all right.
Yeah.
The kid need to know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get turned down, buddy. It's not.
Man, that is the real world, man.
Yeah,
people are trying to hide the real world from
kid.
people. Like,
What's the difference
man,
between a
it's
kid and an old
like.
person? Like, I don't
But now, I'm gonna say this though. Shout out to Brown Sugar Radio. They're on Wednesday nights. I think it's 6 to 8. I think 6 to 8. And last night.
Orlando Jones came up here. I seen it. That's pretty dope. Orlando Jones came up here.
Janine Slaughter, she's the host of Brown Sugar Radio, right? And she has 2 others. I'm sorry, I don't remember their names. But Orlando Jones was here, okay? She also opened for him a couple months back. And she told me, come out. Orlando's going to be here. I got dressed. And when I say dressed, I mean, I got dressed to go see him at the comedy club, but he was under contract that he couldn't, meet and greet because he was doing a movie or doing something, and he, with COVID restrictions, so he couldn't really interact with anybody. But he was here last night, and I got caught up running errands with my sister and doing some stuff with her, and forgot about him being here. And when I clicked on my notification, it says Brown Sugar Radio was 30 minutes ago because it was 9 o'clock, and he was already gone. I like to cry. So shout out to Orlando Jones. I love you, love you, love you. I am a big fan of Orlando Jones.
You love a lot of me.
Yes, I do. Shout out to The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay, shout out to Christian Keys and LaRoyce Hawkins from Chicago PD. Yeah, those are my 4. I'm sorry.
Oh, you forgot the man with the 3 toes.
Who?
Oh, Deion Sanders.
and while we on that,
I
said he
man.
was fine. I didn't say he was one of mine.
You jinxed them for sure. They definitely got 2 losses now.
Now they
you
lost.
said they had 2 losses that day. They was undefeated.
Before they had 2 losses, you said they did. That same Sunday they got 2 losses.
I'm sorry, Deion.
Yes.
I love you.
Yeah, they play this weekend. Let's see what's going on this weekend.
But you know what? And I will say, there was a guy. You heard? I mean, I think you heard about the guy that was talking about Deion and how. The interviewer was like, he's doing what he said he was gonna do. And he says, well, I know he's a white guy. He says, I know he's a great football player and all this and whatever. But now he's taking over coaching. He got to leave something for us.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
And I was
we
like,
talked about that last
yeah, I was like, that just still it shocks me to this day that he was just that blatantly honest about it.
I mean, hey,
which is cool,
Yeah.
but. Deion, like I said, he proves what he's doing. You cannot deny the man that he's successful, regardless of the losses. This man is
even during the
super
loss,
successful.
it was a close game, and at the end of the day, I'm talking about the second loss.
The second loss.
The first one they got blown out.
Yeah,
but that was just a awakening period for them. You know what I mean? Like we maybe we're not that good. It's big. Also, last year they were 1-11. Like, let's go ahead and put that out there. So they only won 1 game. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So he's already surpassed
what they expected.
And the expectations are already,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? We already passed that. But now at this point, he's just trying to, I guess, have a winning season. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and say they're going to win the championship. Well, let's be realistic here. But, it's possible.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. But I think with Deion, the problem a lot of people have, my sister says he's cocky. I don't really think... I think he's cocky, but I think he's confident.
It's confident. It's a difference between being cocky and confident. You're confident because you know you're capable of doing this. Cocky, you get a little, out of character. You know what I mean? But when you're confident, it's for a reason. It
was a boxer who I can't think of his name, but he got a little cocky, But when he got his butt handed to him, he had to understand, it's okay to be humble. Have some kind of humility about you. Deion, he's very confident in who he is, and he's like, don't let my confidence offend you, because I'm not gonna change who I am because of you. And why should you? I'm not gonna complain about him if you making, $200,000 a year at your job, or $250,000 a year at your job. This man's making millions. You know what I'm saying? And I do get what people say about him. They're mistaking his confidence for cockiness, which I get, but I look at the overall picture. I listen to him beyond the interviews that he has when he's talking to these kids, when he's talking to other people. He does have a humility about him, and he is a people person. Mm-hmm. He loves what he does, which is, I think, it's not just a job for him.
He don't need to be a football coach. He wants to be a football coach.
He wants to be.
These other guys that saying, "Hey, lead this job for me," they need that job. Like he don't need this job. Like he wanted to do that. He started off coaching his kids' high school team, and then now he's at the point where he's at the highest collegiate league. You know what I mean? So it's like.
And I think you said when you want to do something, it is very.
You're gonna carry it a different way.
Exactly. And I think these coaches are not afraid of him, but I think they're
intimidated for sure.
Well, they're intimidated by his status, and they're intimidated because when he says he's going to do something, he does it, and he can't.
And he has a following, so
yes,
that's
he has
the
a big
part.
Following.
they're jeopardizing some of their kids, saying, okay, maybe they might next year want to hit the portal and go transfer to Colorado. That's another thing. It's like he's taking some of their recruits too, so that's the intimidation thing too. It's like
because these kids look up to him.
Yeah,
you know,
a lot of them transferred from Jackson State, which is a HBCU, to Colorado with him.
Yeah, and what happened?
Now
they're looking
prospering.
at kids that probably want to go to these other colleges that they've already recruited. But if Dion sees these kids and even shows
if he gets to them first, it's over.
It's over. Shoot, even if he gets them second before they actually
they gonna consider if they talk to him. Yeah, they gonna consider.
Which I'm not even mad about that. You know what I'm saying? You go where I think like with Jacob, his coach, shout out to Coach Kevin Gray. He used to coach the Patriots. Jacob told me point blank, Coach Gray, he was actually thinking about taking a job at a high school, like I think it was Wakefield or somewhere out that way, like Wake Forest area. And he says, "Mom, I know it's gonna be hard, but if that man gets a coach becomes a coach at a high school, I'm commuting. Period." He says, "I'm not playing for nobody in high school but him." Mm-hmm. And so, but that shows you what kind of coach he was, though.
Yeah.
You know, and when I say this man coaches to win, he coaches to win. He coaches, and his boys, he takes time outside of the school. I mean, the football schedule. He goes to their high schools. He watches their high school games. You know, 'cause they was in middle school at the time. He watches their high school games. He checks their report card. If they get in trouble at school, if they call me and I'm like, you know what? Tell you what, call Coach Gray. They'll call him. First thing he do when they get out of school, he waiting. Hey, what's going on with you? But you don't have coaches. Coaches literally leave their life on the field. Once practice is over, the game is over, they're done. But I need a coach that's going to be there for my son 24/7.
Right.
You know? So, but other than that, I think we had a good show tonight. Again, as far as relationships, Jabari, what advice would you give your younger self from now?
That's a good question. What advice would I give my younger self?
I will say this for me. The biggest thing I would say for myself to tell myself was wait. Just wait. Only because I was not mature enough to make decisions that I was making at that time. You know, and I would definitely learn what love was and not what I thought it was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, because love was not all, you know, what do you say, fairy tales and roses back in the day. That's for sure.
Never a fairy tale.
So, but what kind of advice would you tell yourself? I mean, or would you change anything because of where you are now?
Anything that happened, I always feel like it was supposed to happen.
Exactly.
But I mean, I don't know. It's kind of tough. That's why I feel like I can't think of what I would tell my younger self, because I mean, I had to go through that to get to this position. That's why it's kind of tough. But it's like,
what's that song by? It's not Fantasia. It was the line was, it was something you had to go through to grow.
Yeah, a lot of the time.
In my mind, by Heather Headley. You know, what about you, AJ?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty okay about how things happened when I was younger, because it prepared me for now. I feel like if I wouldn't change, or I wouldn't go back and say anything, because I wouldn't be basically where I am now, because I wouldn't have the knowledge that not only did I get from family, but that I got from myself from running away and you know, just being grown, trying to act like I was grown. But I was glad I tried to act grown then, because it taught me, you know,
experience is life's greatest teacher.
Not only did it teach me that I was not, but it taught me how to get prepared to be grown. You know, for real. Like I did this when I was younger. You know, like, and I failed, so I know this time how I'm supposed to do it.
Yeah.
So I probably wouldn't change too much or go back and tell myself too much. Besides,
I did tell you. I said I would tell myself to wait, but the thing about me is, I would be scared that if I did anything differently, that I wouldn't have the kids that I have right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have
Yeah,
the
you
life
never
that
know.
I have right now. Just one little, not dating a particular person could change the trajectory of your
The
whole
butterfly
entire life.
effect is real. If I was to go back
Exactly.
and tell myself anything, who's to say I'd be in the
I might
same
go back.
situation? It's
I might
like
go
Back
back
to the
and
Future, the
watch.
movie.
Look,
It's like,
I might go back and watch and be like, girl, you shouldn't do that. But go
yeah,
ahead.
he went back and messed up his whole timeline. So I don't,
Ooh.
that's how Back to the Future goes. So
Yeah,
it's like I
exactly.
don't want to mess around with that. I don't
But
know.
I think that, experience, which is why I come I let my kids, like my son, and they know that Jacob my son will be 20 years old next Tuesday. 20, AJ. 20 years old.
Right. 20.
But I let him live, and I know he's made mistakes, but, nobody was there to, when I was away from home to check me on my mistakes I made. So I had to make them in order to, to figure out what I need to do, what I didn't need to do.
Right.
So that's why I'm letting him make those decisions now. Just don't bring no babies home, because I'm not babysitting. It's different between babysitting my niece, my nephews, and babysitting my grandbaby. It's just two different things. You got to raise your grandbabies. I don't feel like raising no kids. I'm trying to get out in the streets and have me some fun now. Yeah. I'm grown. But I just think that kids just let kids be kids. Let kids have fun. My son is in college. I'm like, live that college life, get that experience. Party, but also stay grounded. Stay in church, and just get a balanced life. And he's trying to, and he's doing his thing. I'm proud of him right now. So, but I just think that we take love for granted, and when you take love for granted, you get what you get, and a lot of times it don't always end up the way you want it to. But I think in the end, it happens for a reason. My life didn't always turn out the way I think it was, but I wouldn't change it because I got what I got right now. So, but as far as marriage, what would you guys say is y'all biggest strength? We're gonna leave out with that one.
We have a lot of strengths because we don't work so hard to. Everything was our weaknesses, and we done worked so hard on everything to build it that I don't know what
communication, the main thing.
I guess.
I mean, that go full circle.
But that's how it started. So it's kind of like
but sharpening it up though.
With communication. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's why we able to get to this point because like we started like that, but
communication wasn't really too hard for us because, like I said, that's how we met. We met talking. So that's all we really know is to sit down and talk, regardless if it's a couple of hours and we, argue about it or we just let it go and we be okay. Like communication is something that we've been doing since the very beginning. And I guess that would be
that's the strong suit.
That would be
that's the reason why.
Yeah. And I see how you guys compromise about how when you're at work. Yeah. He's got the kids, and when he's at work, you got the kids. Y'all worked our system out, schedule, and you guys are consistent. Like the 3 C's. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
A routine lifestyle is about have a routine lifestyle.
Yeah.
You have to.
And just because you have a routine lifestyle does not mean it has to be boring.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
That's when you have to put the work in.
Yeah. You still have to have those free days. It's not supposed to be 100%.
Well, you guys, this is our time tonight. We got about 7 seconds. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. We really appreciate it.
No problem. Appreciate you having us.
Yeah, shout out to Houston. He wasn't here tonight. Shout out to Maurice. He wasn't here. Jennifer hasn't been here in a while. We're trying to get her back. But you guys have a great, safe weekend. Love you guys.
Love you too.